Okay, so as I mentioned, my name is David Shepley. How I first got into sustainability was in wildlife conservation in East Africa, and then I went on to study at Columbia University. But through and through, all the way to leading the sustainability programs at Five, is a belief that sustainability tells us that everything operates and lives within an ecosystem. So with Five hotels, you may know it, and you may know it in different ways. But ultimately, the strategy and the view that we share at Five about who we are all together is that we're an entertainment and lifestyle hospitality business that is working to develop pioneering sustainable ecosystems. Ultimately, we are an ecosystem. So if we look quickly, this company is quite young in that in about 7 years, we've gone from just one hotel opening at the Palm in Dubai to 3 hotels now in the UAE, 1 in Switzerland, and again, acquiring a complementary lifestyle entertainment group in Ibiza called the Pacha Group. It's really important that we understand and that we share that we are an entertainment hospitality group. If you see here on the highlights just how intensive our entertainment programs are. Whereas there are some businesses that are trying to epitomize sustainability in terms of going back to the grassroots. Again, at Five, we understand that our business is intensive entertainment, hospitality, and real estate activities. And so the question is, how do we lean into that and show that we also can represent an important part of the global industry to implement sustainability into our entertainment ecosystems? Here we see the Pacha Group, which we acquired in October of last year, which is in Ibiza. Again, Ibiza, Spain is a global hub for entertainment and parties. Are we supposed to just cut that out? Or are we supposed to recognize that that is an important aspect that represents millions of people around the world, and that also needs to play a part in the sustainability mission? And in fact, Ibiza in the Balearic Islands is one of the most critical habitats and ecosystems for sustainability, and they're actually doing a lot of things. So if you look at Five as a group, you see that we are driving very intensive lifestyle and entertainment programs. So the question is then, how do we bring in what we call sustainable indulgence? I'm going to skip this video for the sake of time. I'm about to take us into some of the cornerstone aspects of what we focus on to deliver that product. But just to start with a snapshot, last year we undertook a corporate rating through ISS. I would say globally the top ESG corporate rating agencies are Sustainalytics, MSCI, ISS. We decided to go with ISS, which assessed us over 100 criteria across environment, social, and governance. And we liked that rating agency because we felt that that rating process really represented analyzing an ecosystem. If they're looking at over 100 distinct areas, and within each criteria, a range of measures, policies, practices, and data. And we scored quite well, as you can see at the top. So quickly, if you look at the timeline for sustainability, you can see that we are moving as quickly in our sustainability achievements as we are in the entertainment business and the lifestyle hospitality. And that's important to show that, again, we do not shy away from what our business is, but we are proud of the fact that we are leaning into how we can incorporate it at a very ambitious and fast-paced scale. So with the development of each new property, and what makes Five distinct and I think an advantage over some very massive hospitality groups that have franchises, is that we have full control over the development and operations. And our previous speaker spoke about the benefits of being able to develop your own assets so that you can incorporate from the ground up, literally, the technologies and equipment that have sustainability in mind. So if we look here, we have our 2023 highlights, and we can see a scorecard of last year's reporting year's achievements. So the question is, how are we doing this while having very large business in terms of occupancy, maintaining above 90% for all our hotels, but at the same time having these reductions? If you look here from the energy and carbon side, renewable energy has been a very important focus. This is highlighted by our 100% solar power for all 3 hotels in Dubai, which is validated with IREX. Water is also important. We're a lifestyle entertainment hotel. We have a lot of pools, just like Atlantis, though nowhere as close as them. But we've also focused on water recycling systems and understanding where in our operations we can actually redivert that treated water in a way that's not going to impact the quality and compliance of the guest experience. That includes irrigation, WC flush, and cleaning. And also waste is important. When I took the role about 2 years ago, I knew that if we were not going to have a strong program on waste management and recycling, we would never be able to talk about sustainability confidently, no matter how well we were doing in other areas. So that is a very important part, and it's a big challenge, especially as a whole for hospitality. We see here at the Pacha Group that what we believe we're doing at 5 is scalable, and our acquisition of the Pacha Group and the work that we're doing actively on that is a representation of how we are now going from one seasonal business in Dubai to having a complementary seasonal business in Spain, and again, taking high energy intensive entertainment businesses and driving sustainability. So we've secured 100% green power contract for our 2 hotels, our entertainment club, and our clothing stores in Ibiza. In 2023, there was a 22% reduced absolute emissions. 86% of the fruits and vegetables of the business in Ibiza comes from Spain, with 30% from the island alone. And just this summer, at one of our properties, Destino, Ibiza here, we saved 2 Olympic-sized swimming pools worth of water in just 2 months, which was over 5 million liters. How we did that is, again, as we heard in the other speaker, thinking in every small touch point how you can reduce water pressure, get new fixtures in, understand the localized ecosystem of bringing water in, say through trucks or the local network, and reducing down on that. So it's a quite exciting job, although this is the challenge, I would say, as a whole we face at 5, more than other businesses, is that we are not trying, again, to scale back our vibe, so to speak. We are trying to deliver it in tandem. It does take a lot of work. It takes a lot of culture, brains. It's not easy, but it's something that we're very proud of, and we think that this is a scalable mission. Just to round out the presentation, community is an important aspect. We have a strong legacy of supporting long-term medical partnerships in India, where our founding leadership comes from, for facial and heart surgeries, education and literacy programs. The Pacha Foundation in Ibiza also has a very strong legacy of giving back to the island, because again, Ibiza can be seen or known in one single way. Some people love it, some people will look at it very critically, but in reality, it has need, and it also has incredible UNESCO designated habitats, including sea meadows. So that is a very important part, that we continue the community legacy for that group as well. On the topic of benchmarks, we participated in the Cornell Hotel Sustainability Benchmark last year, and we have a result that is coincidentally 5 times less than the average UAE luxury resort as per their benchmark. The CHSB index is one of the leading hotel carbon footprint benchmarks. It's what DEFRA emission factors cite when it comes to hospitality. So this is something that's absolutely part of our program, continuing to participate in these global initiatives and understanding how we can measure ourselves and focus on our areas to improve within, say, Scope 1 and 2 inventories. So there is a strategy behind this. It's good for the planet, but also the point of sustainability is to have a competitive economic case. Green finance is one way, and the main way that you can do that. So through our LEED Platinum hotels and our solar and renewable energy projects, we developed a green finance framework last year that raised a $350 million green bond. It's listed on the NASDAQ Dubai and ISM London. We just published our first green bond allocation impact report. So my role is to basically think about, again, that whole ecosystem, from the culture to the building operations and engineering to the corporate level with the finance and the policies. Lastly, biodiversity is an important theme, and even last week I was swimming in Kite Beach and I can see the reefs that they've put down in the past several months. At first I was shocked by it, but for us, biodiversity is something that we care about and we try to incorporate. This is a greenhouse we built on the rooftop of 5 Jumeirah Village. And with 5 Jumeirah Village, the way that the architecture is there's lots of open space and lots of landscaping. So every room has 14 different species. We consulted closely with our landscaping company to make sure that they were climate adaptive and native, including a row of gaff trees on the 5th floor podium. So again, some of these things are small, some of these things make massive impact, but the point is we show that we are showing up in part of this in different aspects. And again, sustainability is holistic, and there's many ways to contribute and align with that. Proudly, last year, just this spring, we got first place at 5 Palms Jumeirah with the EEG recycling campaign as the #1 glass recycler out of 2,300 participants. That was a huge testament to the work that paid off, considering when I took the role on 2 years ago, it was not a strong situation with our waste management. There's a lot to continue to work on. We unsuccessfully had a food composter on site. That was a challenge for a couple of different reasons, but we fortunately have a food waste and segregation program through our third-party collectors. We continue to embrace circularity. I know Atlantis does this, I believe, in probably more ways than us, because they also, I think, have given food, because I've been a volunteer, but at the Quain Dog Shelter, a lot of hotels give either food waste or the towels, and so we give all our towels from the pools to them. So again, this is how we connect to the community in different ways and find value in the waste that we can create. Here's the Pacha Foundation, just a quick dashboard of the programs we're doing for the community there. The final piece to this, and I think the ultimate determiner of success at our company and all companies, is how our governance and our senior leadership is going to view it. We have a board that has a strong mix of diversity and experience across industry. Our female employees play critical roles, and so we're continuing to elevate that and to highlight the stories that they play, the stories they have and the roles that they play in our business across the departments. Great Place to Work is another social benchmark that we like to participate in. It's an important way for us to get feedback and to understand where we can improve and what we're doing well. So what does it look like for the future in my last 1 minute here? Yep, in Ibiza, we're going to convert all of the assets to LEED Platinum. We're on track for that. And this remains our most ambitious project that we haven't been able to build yet. But this is a net zero electricity tower that I even presented at the head of the IMF, but we would love to be able to build this somewhere in the world. And this ultimately is how 5 sees sustainability if it has the chance. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Any questions for David? Oh, there's one question coming there.
Thank you. Actually, a comment and a question. First of all, I like the term you've coined, sustainable indulgence. So that's quite cool. Would you mind actually going back to the slide that you had the rankings of it was at the beginning with the ranks where you were at A across all the 3 areas? I just saw something curious there. Oh God, a picture. Yeah. So under all industries, curious that Tesla Inc. is C+, and you guys are A.
Yes.
Just curious on your thoughts on that, and if you can shed any light on why there's such a discrepancy between an organization like Tesla and yourselves.
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I'm not going to go into Tesla in specific, but this is, the point of these ratings is that they're third-party audits that, we have no influence in other than in providing our public available information for that assessment, and we even still remain the only company to have an A rating. If I were to be nuanced, though, I would say that, okay, if you're a Tesla or an Apple, you have a massive global operation, right? So obviously, one could say that there's a lot more challenge to managing that. On the other hand, you could say they have a lot more resources. So I think that's a nuance that you could look at. But the final thing I would say about this rating, and again, what it represents, is that what I've really come to learn in sustainability is it's not about doing one thing amazing. It's not about the energy or the water. It's about ultimately a consciousness and a philosophy. And the ISS rating looked at 100 criteria, and we really developed our corporate culture, policies, data, measures to be encompassing of the 100 criteria. So I think for us, why did we do so well? It's because we really looked at every single criteria and made sure that that was part of the consciousness of the operations.
Do you guys do anything about sound pollution in Spain with your clubs?
Yeah. It's an important aspect. Even in Switzerland, the business was challenging. I mean, we have a hotel in Zurich, but as you may know, in Europe, there's a lot more progressive laws on these things, and our business is definitely sound intensive. So I don't know too much in specific about the sound pollution in Ibiza. I know that it has been an issue. So the way that we address that, or any of the issues, right, water scarcity is the biggest issue in the Balearics, which is why we focused on reducing the water so much at that one hotel. It's about maintaining a very close relationship with, say, the mayor of Ibiza, being transparent, showing up how we can collaborate. So sound pollution, right, that could be an issue. At the same time, Ibiza is Ibiza. But you would be surprised, or maybe you wouldn't be, but other people would be, at how strongly they're working on the environment there. It's definitely not just a party place for everybody.
Right.
So that's part of it.
Thank you so much, David.